the S&P has, I mean, it kind of paused this week, but just yesterday we got a little bit of more upward momentum. I actually talked about this last week, if I don't mind ringing my own bell, but we talked about how 4,200, this level right here, was going to be kind of a big deal to get above. And we finally had broken above that 4,200 level. And then we said, well, where are we going to go next? And so that might be an interesting discussion. So,
Yeah, is that what we're gonna cover now, or we're gonna cover that later?
yeah,
Yeah.
no, let's cover it now. So, a lot of people said the next one's going to be 4,300, mainly because of where we were in August of 2022. But my point is, there's accumulation and there's distribution in the markets. And so you get these folks who are buying, buying, and buying. And of course, you get those people who are, they're maybe a little bit late to the game in August, and they're seeing everything so exciting and they're buying and buying just to have it sell off. And so this whole time, these folks at 4,300 have been nail biting, saying, "Oh my gosh, having regrets. Did I buy into the market and now am I going to lose a whole bunch of money?" So they're waiting, and you can imagine the beads of sweet sweat on their head. And they finally get an opportunity at 4,300 again to get out of the market without having lost their shirt and being able to finally go back to their significant other, being saying, "Hey, I almost got us into a lot of trouble last year, but hey, things are good." And of course, when they start selling, it creates a little bit of level of resistance. That's the same with any level of resistance. And we saw a lot of that at 4,200. And, I'm constantly, we just even had a big discussion about this yesterday in our students' workshop about what is support and what is resistance. And a lot of people, no slight to people's abilities to kind of wrap their head around support or resistance, they go to these extremes like 4,300, where, there was this one moment in time where some investors sold off, at that level, and they think that that's the level of resistance. It turns out that not that many investors were involved here versus how many times 4,200 had been reached and then fell off. So you had a lot of investors at 4,200 sweating with beads on their head. And that's why it was so hard to get above 4,200. Every time we tried to get above 4,200, a whole bunch of other people would be like, "I'm selling now." And that would create a downward pressure. So people were saying, well, 4,300, that must be the next level. And I said, no, it'll be maybe a minor level. And we saw like 4 days of trying to get above it. But today we're above it. And the reason why I said that is because you only had these few investors. In fact, if you look back a little bit further in time, I'm saying 4,600 because look at how many times price came up to 4,600 and then sold off. You've got all of these investors, 3 bouts of them who kind of were losing their shirt. They've really been sweating a lot. And so at 4,600, I expect a lot of overhead resistance, not 4,300. So I don't doubt that we're going to blow through 4,300. I think we're going to have some trouble at 4,600.